Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Ed Cofrancesco, CEO with International Assets Advisory. Ed, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Well, thank you, Jill.
All right. And it seems as if the shine has come off the equity markets a bit, and we're kind of back to the reality phase following the rally that we've seen since the middle of June. What are your thoughts? What are you looking at as we move ahead here?
Jill, the markets have done exactly as our firm IAA International Assets predicted at the end of last year. We thought that the markets would enter a phase start of this year, a mambo, do 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward, 3 steps backwards, 2 steps forward. But continually over a longer trend, we'd see the decline in markets. We think that's going to continue. We think this dance is going to go back. There'll be some buying opportunities. People will think, hey, happy days are here again. And then reality will smack them over the head and we'll retreat. So we're going to keep making lower lows and lower highs as we slowly whittle away the market. And then at some point, we think there'll be finally a big sell-off and there'll be a big correction. We don't know exactly when that was going to happen, but we were looking for late third quarter or early fourth quarter 2022. That could slip into 2023.
So, Ed, I really guess it's around where we are with inflation. Have we peaked? Do we ultimately go into a recession? I mean, expectations for earnings aren't exactly that great either. And of course, we're moving into the seasonally volatile September and October months of trading.
Jill, these are great points. And maybe inflation has come down a little bit and will continue to come down. We think some of the things, as you know, energy doesn't play a big part in the inflation number. They kind of exclude it. But we think gas is heading back to $5 a gallon by sometime this winter. So that has an impact on the consumers. We believe that we're not going to recession. We're already there. And it's a question, is this going to be a soft one or a hard one?
Right. And well, what about jobs, right? They're still struggling to fill positions. However, if we do get into a hard landing, if you will, or if we are in fact in a recession, you could expect some cutbacks or layoffs here.
Jill, a year and a half ago, we said to people that in 2023 and 2024, we're not going to be talking about labor shortages. We're going to be talking about unemployment problems. And this is the weirdest unemployment market I've ever seen. We still have a labor shortage, yet unemployment's ticked up. And we have all the big companies announcing that they're preparing for or already introducing layoffs. So it's sort of like, we don't have enough workers, but we're going to lay off people at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, one reprieve we have had are gas prices coming down a bit, but the question is it a matter of demand and Americans doing less in terms of driving, and then how is that impacting consumer discretionary spend? Because the consumer has still remained somewhat quite strong here.
Yeah, that's true, but we're starting to see weaknesses. We're starting to see the producers are ordering less supplies now. We're seeing that. So all of a sudden, that means they're anticipating that retail buying is going to slow down. We're starting to see some weakness in forecasts in the earnings numbers, as you had mentioned. So we have, again, we're all guessing to a certain extent, but when we look at our magic 8 ball and we keep shaking it up, it keeps saying the future uncertain, but be cautious. And that's what we say. We're very cautious. I hate to be a bear, but we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do have to face reality at some point. I think you and I have spoken about this in the past, but we had nearly 13 years of so much liquidity injected into the system and almost not allowing the business cycle to play out. I mean, recessions are part of that. So perhaps this valuation reset is necessary.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that comment, Jill. And being originally from the North, even though I live in the South, I'll quote Ned Stark and the other Northerners. Winter is coming.
A Game of Thrones reference always does play well with the audience. Ed, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.